Hello, welcome. This is episode 70 of So Well Spoken. With me is Angelus.
Yo.
And Mike.
What's up?
Our last episode, we talked about the murder of Breonna Taylor. Very recently, one of the officers who shot her in one of their no-knock stings, he was fired. Brett Hankinson, one of the police officers involved, acted in extreme violations of the department's policies, said by acting Louisville Metro Police Chief Robert Schroeder, that he displayed an extreme indifference to the value of human life by wantonly and blindly firing 10 shots into Taylor's home on the 13th of March.
Well, that's just one of them, not the rest.
That's not good enough for me.
Nah.
And it's fired. Like,
yeah.
The bar
like, that's
so
the thing
low.
That's killing me. Like, oh, we fired him. Oh.
Fired one, not fired the whole group. The one, just like one.
Just fired, period. They should be in jail, like, for murder.
Right. Exactly.
Like, he's just going to go to another precinct and get right back on the force. Like, this didn't do anything.
One of those stories where we're seeing a lot of hedgeway into some of these other cases or whatever, but seeing this one kind of like stall the way it has is kind of upsetting. Not kind of, it is upsetting. You know, it's like, wow, why isn't more being done in this case? Because it's a clear, obvious case. Like, I see the words, you know, displayed an extreme indifference to the value of human life. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's clear as day. But it's like, why hasn't more been done sooner, first of all, and why aren't the actions being taken properly? It just seems like they're trying to slowly drag this thing out until people kind of like just forget. In which I'm happy that people are on their ass about it. You know, I see Breonna Taylor every day when I get online, so I'm glad that's the case. But Jesus Christ, the fact that we have to like sit here and like be on pins and needles to see if anything's going to happen for the people that killed this woman. I'm like, this black woman, you know, I don't know, man. It's distressing.
Yeah, like, I think one of my other issues with this whole thing is that had all of this not popped off of the protests, you know, the constant protesting, they would have done shit about this. Like,
right.
it would have been swept under the rug, because it was being swept under the rug before people started bringing it up. Like, hey, what about, you know, Breonna Taylor? And that got traction. People were like, justice for Breonna Taylor. And it's just like, we have to do so much just to get like the smallest piece of justice, and it shit is infuriating. And like, that's why I hate when people say let justice take its court, because take its, you know, go through its paces. And I'm like, it doesn't work, because if it would have worked, we wouldn't be doing this shit in the first place.
They would have got fired on the spot. Like, as soon as they found out this whole situation, it would have been done, fired and charged, easy.
And this is why I'm like, you know, this is I'm personally at this point in my life where I'm just like, you know, voting for Joe Biden isn't going to change shit. Like, nothing's going to change. Like, oh, we can vote for Biden, vote up and down the ticket in your local thing. It's like, it's not going to do shit. Like, well, we've been doing it that way forever, and shit's not changing. It's still the same as it's ever been. And it's like, I think it was like a couple of days ago, I saw it was like the police budget for America, like overall, $60 billion less than fucking China's. And it's like, for China's military, it's like, that is ridiculous that we spend that much money on our police force. Like, who are you fighting? Like, oh man, I hate this country so much. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Like, America always like postures itself as at war. It's a war on drugs, it's a war on this and a war on that, war. Everybody's a warrior. Like, bro, you're police officers with fucking 2 days of training and a pack of gum who gets like a la carte fucking access to guns and all kinds of military weaponry, and like with absolutely no oversight. Nobody can punish you for the shit you do because you investigate yourself. And it's like, how is that a good system? Like, what the hell?
I saw this traffic cop with a gun today, and I'm just like, yo, dude, you're just escorting the damn construction workers across the street. Why do you feel the need to have a gun? Like, it's just little stuff like that just incenses me now. It's like, yo, dude, why are you over here equipped like there's going to be like a major crime in Buckhead out of nowhere when you're just doing simple traffic stuff? You have your vest, you have your signs. It's like, why are you so well equipped for, not even well equipped, over equipped for the situation? I just sat there and looked at it like, yo, what the fuck? why is it that we as a country feel the need to like gun culture is like such a toxic thing, because it's like we feel the need to have to be protected at all times from literally almost nothing. It's not even like that serious to have the time to have guns or whatever. I've seen police officers come up in the club or whatever sometimes, and I'm just like, why do y'all have guns in a place where it's like packed full of people just to do security work? Because like say security guard can come in or whatever. It's like the dumbest shit. And you see what happens here. You got some gung-ho ass cops who wanted to do some extra shit that wasn't even necessary, because the person that was there doesn't even live there anymore. And person's life got taken, and another person's life almost got taken because they could have been in jail. So it's like just a dumb shit, unnecessary shit, all for like this American ass culture that don't make sense half the damn time. Fake ass cowboy shit.
Yeah.
The militarization of our police force has a direct line to our overfunding of our military.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we give them so much funding that they themselves say they don't need all of. And then when they have this overflow of military equipment, it gets donated or sold on the cheap to our police forces who are supposed to be protecting us. And so now they're going through the streets with these giant ass like instruments of war to go meet protesters, to meet peaceful protesters. That's something that America and Americans have to deal with, because this is something we've done to people all around the world. We've sent this kind of force all around the world to harm and to intimidate and to quote unquote bring order to these places that we had no business going in the first place. And now that blueprint that the military has created overseas is starting to form at home, and it's scaring people, and it's really not scaring enough people. When you listen to people's concerns about this, about the police being out of control, and there are some people who support the police, it's like they have no idea how slippery a slope it is. Like, your grandparents didn't have to walk the streets where police had access to this amount of equipment. Like, this is insane, the amount of power you give people who have so little like accountability. And one of the parts of this that I can't stand is when white people try to wave away the fact that the black community or just the non-white community in America is upset about all these gun deaths by police by bringing up examples of white people murdered by police. And it's just so frustrating to see people like feeding these people to a machine to because they don't care about white people. White supremacy isn't about white people, it's about whiteness. Like, white supremacy doesn't care about any individual white person. So if some white people have to die to uphold white supremacy, it just feels like a lot of people are signing off on that being okay.
It's always been the thing.
And that's what sucks. That's why as a person of privilege myself, as a male, straight male at that, cis straight male, it's like, you suffer from the privilege that you exude half the time. It's like, if you're white or whatever and you get gunned down by a cop, it's from the white side of the community, no one's going to care. Only the people that care are the people that are going to be against the police in the first place, like police abolition and defunding the police. They're going to care. You always see, every time it's brought up, it's like, do you not see that there's like a Black Lives Matter rally around the fact that this white kid was killed, or this guy was killed or whatever by the police? Like, do you not see that? But they want to use it to confirm their own biases about how the police, they kill white people too. Like, yeah, we know. The police don't care.
Yeah, I see that argument a lot. They're just like, the police kill white people, and it's like, yeah, why aren't you mad about that? Like, you should be okay with that. Like, you shouldn't be like, they kill us too. Like, who fucking thinks like that? Oh yeah, we get gunned down, we go about our lives. Like, you shouldn't accept that as your norm. Like,
do you think that person deserved to get killed? I mean, is that what your argument is?
For a lot of them, they do think people deserve to die. Like, for the most mundane things, you see it all the time. You'll see somebody go, "Oh, he shouldn't have resisted," and it's like, so is resisting arrest fucking grounds for fucking being for death? Like, I didn't realize that in the handbook. Or, oh, he ran a red light, and it's like, so that calls for death? Like, it's crazy just how they try to justify all these murders by the police. Like, it doesn't even matter what the person did. Like, it's always, oh, the police fear for his life, or they will like stretch it out to make the grand argument that in some capacity the police would have been hurt. Like, when the guy, the one who was intoxicated, I forgot his name, and I'm really annoyed by that. Rayshard Brooks. There you go, last name. So like when he got pulled over, not pulled over, but like, they knocked on his window, got him out the car. He was, they did the whole drunk testing for like 40 minutes. They stood this man up, right? Shot him with the taser twice, and then he shot the taser. The taser at that point was already expelled. Like, it couldn't hurt anybody. It couldn't hurt the police, but yet people use that for justification. Oh, he shot the police. Police could have died. So it's like, all right, so you are saying that this taser that had already been used could have killed the police, but you're okay with the police using that on people. And that's your argument, that a taser can kill somebody. I mean, you're okay with that being used on people. Like, you're okay with the infraction of somebody being drunk but sleeping it off, you're okay with justifying that that's a good reason for him to be murdered. Like, that is such a wild mindset to have. Like, only in America, and it's literally
morality.
Only in
America. Is fucked up. Like, it is a fucked up morality to uphold law over just people's lives like that. To the extent of that is fucked up. It is pure and simple.
It's ridiculous, man. Like, there was a video that was circulating on Twitter of a young man. He was pulled over. He was white. I'm not even sure what he got pulled over for. I think he, like, the back of his car got tagged by a police officer or something like that. I don't know. But an off-duty officer was there. It was this big roid rage looking Doa Bobo looking motherfucker. And like, he's not even on duty. And like, he's threatening this young man. He's like, if you don't sit down, I'll break you and things like that. And I'm reading the comments. People are like, well, if the police officer has to restrain him or like hurt him, then that's fine. It's like, he didn't even do anything. Like, what are you talking about? Like, number one, he's off duty. So, if he attacks this young man and you guys justify that's wild to me. Because personally, I think that young man should have shot the fuck out of that man for getting in his face like that and threatening his life. But that's just me. Because if the positions are reversed, everybody will be justifying that. But it's just like, the police, like, by a certain segment of America, and by a certain segment, I mean mostly white. And honestly, this is across the political spectrum. Like, because I've seen quote unquote liberal whites who try to justify these things to a certain extent as well. And it's like, they give police like this unfettered amount of like authority to be, judge, jury, and executioner for the smallest, most minuscule of crimes. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, routine fucking traffic stops, they can take you out. They feel like it, and people are okay with that because it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why is that? Like, why is your mindset, if you did something wrong, you deserve to die? Like, how? Like, what is the logical leap there? That makes that so crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
There was an 18-year-old security guard killed by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. CNN wrote about it, saying a makeshift shrine has formed outside an auto body shop in Gardena, California, where the mourners have left bouquets of flowers, balloons, notes, and pictures of 18-year-old Andres Guardado, who was shot and killed Thursday by Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department deputy. The 18-year-old was working at an auto body shop as a security guard, and he was shot and killed by the sheriff deputy on Thursday, June 18th. County Sheriff's Department has said he reportedly looked toward the deputies and quote-unquote produced a handgun before running down the driveway of the business. The deputies pursued, caught up to him, where one deputy fired 6 rounds. He was hit in the upper torso and pronounced dead at the scene. The investigators recovered a semi-automatic pistol at the scene with no serial number, and additionally, the firearm had an extended magazine that was blah, 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 blah. But Andres' cousin, Steve Abarca, told CNN that he never knew Andres to carry a gun. This story, this actually happened like not very far from me. There's a lot of aspects to the story that sounds like a lot of other stories. First being that this kid was immediately marked as a criminal by these police driving by for some reason when he was at work. They say he wasn't wearing security gear at the time, but the owner of the body shop said that he was there because he was at work. And another troubling thing about this is the owner of the body shop, in some interviews with local news, has said that after he was killed, the police destroyed video cameras around his auto body shop and then broke inside and stole his DVR of the security footage. And that they issued him a warrant to take it after the fact.
Yeah, that's not suspect at all, man. So
you hear from these police that this kid was acting suspiciously at work. And he looked towards the deputies, that they make it a point that he looked at them as if that was enough to set off like a police investigation.
Right.
And everyone knows, like, the LAPD, LA Sheriff's Department has a long history of corruption.
Right.
And planning evidence on innocent people. And this just doesn't sound right.
Nah.
Not at all.
At all. You look at somebody and it's grounds for like, oh, nah.
It honestly sounds like some shit from like a TV show, like some CSI Miami type bullshit. Like,
yeah, like, oh, I looked at him and he produced the gun out of nowhere. Like,
he just happened to have a gun with an extended mag and no serial number on it. That was filed off. Like, because, you know, that's what people usually do. Okay, bullshit. Like the whole thing just sounds like a bunch of BS, especially like they went in to short the cameras and then took the fucking video footage. Like, all right, man. Okay. I believe the police about as much as I believe the police. I didn't have a good analogy for it. It's just so terrible.
A protest was organized to get answers from the LA County Sheriff's Department, because even till this day, there's been no justification for why he was shot or stopped, why the police were looking into him for any reason. It hasn't been produced.
That's what I was thinking. Like, was there any reason for them to go investigate? But
no,
there's none.
Yeah, the witnesses around said that no one called the police. There was no illegal activity happening. There was no like ruckus that would make people think something was happening. It was just wrong place, wrong time.
Jeez.
And so there were protests organized to try and force the police department to answer for their recent murder. And during this protest, the police, of course, abused protesters. So,
of course,
they continue to compound these issues. Like, they hate that they're not seen as heroes in the community, and then they beat the shit out of the community.
Yeah,
and then complain afterwards that, you know, they're being misjudged and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, dude,
like, it's abusive, like, spouse shit.
Yeah. Gaslighting, almost.
Mm-hmm.
It is gaslighting.
The sheriff's helicopter circling overhead was urging protesters, "We don't want to see your children hurt."
Then don't hurt them. It's that simple. Like, I don't know, man. Looking at protesting, and I looked at some of the Occupy Wall Street protests. They were doing the same shit, and that was for a completely separate, pretty much on its own microcosm when it comes to like usual like protests, and the police is going ham for no reason. And I'm just like, you guys have an image for a reason. And you don't seem to you don't care to, for one, because that power clearly gone to your head. And then two, you don't give a fuck. There's no empathy. You say you don't want to see your children hurt, then don't hurt them. Don't kill them randomly out in the street and shit. So I'm not seeing where I'm supposed to feel sympathetic for you and your career, because you guys are known for things. That's just what it is at this point. It's like you guys are known to overstep, over police, kill whoever you feel like y'all can kill and get away with it because of qualified immunity, and go to the next job and do the same thing over and over again. There's no due process. There's no justice. It's the same old shit. And we're supposed to respect you as an organization? Fuck no. All the other emergency organizations out there, EMT, 911, fire department, they get the most love because they do what they're supposed to do. But the police as an organization, I feel like, are outdated. They don't need to exist in the way they do now at all, because they don't do their job.
So U.S. Reps Nanette Beldagon and Maxine Waters released a statement saying, "Another day and another black or brown kid has been shot in the back by the police. These killings must stop. We demand answers and call for an independent investigation into this tragic death. There must be full transparency so the public can trust the investigation and we know we're getting the truth." Both the representatives criticized the deputies for not wearing body cams, equipment that, according to Villanueva, who's the head of the LA Sheriff's Department, he says he has been asking for since December of 2018, his first month on the job. He blamed the delay on a lack of support from County Board of Supervisors.
Honestly, I don't believe any fucking statement the police put about anything. Like, I just feel like, I just assume they're always fucking lying because 99% of the time they're fucking lying.
They are.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, I feel like one of the ways that this country went wrong with their police force, outside the fact that they used to be slave catchers, is they essentially allow the police to investigate themselves. Like, obviously that was most likely by design because, you know, you don't want a third party investigate you because they might actually work correctly. But it's just like, yeah, police investigating themselves from wrongdoing is always going to turn out that they did the right thing. And it's super frustrating because, like, you know, I read from like country, like the Nordic countries, you know, how they do their police force. There's a completely independent body who does the investigations and is formed by citizens with degrees in this shit. And it's just like, that must be nice. You know, it must be nice to have a working.
Once again, the Nordic European countries are doing so well.
It's just like, it must be nice to have, you know, a police force that the people can hold accountable for their actions, and like the police aren't actually above the fucking law. Whereas here, police are basically America's biggest fucking gang, and like I legit feel safer in Crip territory wearing all red, and it's just like, Jesus, man.
Real talk. I've always felt safer around hood niggas than around the police. Always.
Oh, it's not even close.
Oh, always.
Oh, fuck
like,
yeah.
There's times where you be like, all right, these dudes tripping. But other than that,
I gotta go home.
Yeah, I gotta go home. But otherwise, like, if I'm hanging around with them, we just shooting the shit or whatever, it's like, I've never felt like my life is in danger.
Honestly, like, for real. Like,
Ever.
If I'm running for my life and there are two groups of people, the police and a bunch of Crips, I'm running towards the Crips.
All day.
Like, I'm not running towards the police. The police might help. The police might shoot me. Like, fuck that. Like, I'm good on taking a risk, an unnecessary risk. Like, nah.
Yeah, it's and that's sad. You would think that the so-called quote unquote criminals would be the ones you're actually scared of. But if you be around them and you know them, it's not always like that. First of all, exactly. And then they're cool. It's like
they're in the neighborhood and shit. Like,
yeah, they know people. I had somebody tell me, you know, I almost robbed your house one time. I was like, for real? But no, I know you, bro. I said, oh, that's Mike's house. I was like, oh, that's oddly comforting. You know, it's like, yo, they knew who I was. But the fact that I'm less scared of them than I am of the police says a lot by itself. That's a metric ton. The so-called criminals don't scare me
at all.
I not whatever. What's up? You good? All right, I'm out. I can't. I don't feel like doing that for a police officer.
I don't.
Fuck that. I don't feel like I don't feel like extending that courtesy to a police officer. I look at them, I get on about my business, and move the hell on.
I'm not doing no kind of movements next to the police. They might shoot me. Like, oh, he's going for a gun. Like, I was just giving you a handshake.
I nod my head. Think I'm trying to like get at him or something like that. Like, nah, bro.
We are good.
And that's sad. The fact that we can't have that relationship with certain forms of public servants is dumb. It really is. Like, it shouldn't. Public servants should serve the public, not serve themselves. But they serve themselves more than anybody else I know outside of politicians. So it's like, it's the entire organization just needs to be abolished as is. That's just simply put. Like, we've been talking about it for the past few weeks, but yeah, it's that time. If we don't get it done, it's never going to be done. So we need to start rolling that ball. And I'm glad some places are starting, but that ball needs to start rolling as soon as possible.
If we don't get it done, it'll never get done. Boy, that is the American motto, boy.
Yeah. I know.
Like, you can literally apply that to anything, and it really works for America. COVID-19. If we don't get it done, it'll never get done.
This dude Trump's. Oh my god, I'm not going to get into that. Let's
Wear your
move on.
mask. Wash your hands.
Stand 6 feet apart.
Let's move on. I almost got into a rant about that shit. So what's up with the Supreme Court, man?
Yes, also this week, in a major rebuke to President Trump, the Supreme Court blocked the administration's plan to dismantle the Obama-era program known as DACA, which is a deferred action for recent arrivals. Under the Obama program, qualified individuals brought to the U.S. as children were given temporary legal status. Trump tried to remove this program, and the Supreme Court decided that he could not do that. He could not repeal DACA. Justice Roberts wrote the opinion on it. He said, "We do not decide whether DACA or its rescission are sound policies. The wisdom of this decision is none of our concern. Here we address only whether the administration complied with the procedural requirements in the law that insist on a reasoned explanation for its actions." The Trump administration didn't give a reason for DACA being unconstitutional. They gave no legal argument that was sound. And so the Supreme Court said, if you're not going to, basically the reason was that it's unconstitutional for Obama to have done it in the first place. And that was the whole crux of their argument. And the Supreme Court disagreed.
Yeah, it seems like they just tried to like from what I'm reading, it says like, what it seems like they were trying to put it on Obama instead of just like actually trying to actually do the thing they want to do. Mm-hmm. So, which is like shows how incompetent the Trump administration. Because all you gotta do is like come up with a somewhat reasonable. There's not gonna be a real reasonable.
Well, there are like critics of DACA who say that the real controversial part is that Obama skipped a government step. And this is basically an executive action when it shouldn't be.
Okay.
So like there's some like nitpicky legal constitutionalists who argue over this, but Trump was basically just saying that this was unconstitutional.
As a whole, not just like, oh yeah, this is terrible, we should just get this. Yeah, see, they're just incompetent, bro. I mean, we've known this since jump, but it's like the longer this goes, like, yo, these dudes are just empty. That's the only word I can think of at this point. It's like everything you would think about, like everything an Onion article would be, we had in this administration. It's like this dude, Obama has been in this man's head his entire presidency.
Living rent free.
Obama hasn't said he said a few words, but he hasn't said anything directly to Trump. This entire presidency. It's just been like little side jabs. And this dude, everything Obama stands for, which, to be honest, if you look at Obama's legacy, it isn't all good, but it's enough to piss him off. And he's trying to rescind every little detail about that. And it's like, dude, how much better would you be if you just let that shit go?
That's what white people do best, though. They try to erase our accomplishments.
Well, that's like the second Supreme Court decision in a row, right?
Yeah, the last one was the discrimination one.
Right.
Going pretty good. Relatively.
That was a 5-4 vote. So that was almost something else for a minute there. Yeah, so all right.
The consensus among immigration experts is that there won't be enough time for Trump to try and get rid of DACA before January. But if he's reelected, that he will very likely try to do it again.
I mean, he's pretty much failed on like a lot of the big things he promised. You know, repealing DACA, repealing Obamacare, replacing Obamacare. Only thing he really does the wall is the tax break. Like that's it. Like
the tax break was easy because there's a lot of Democrats that'll sign on to that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like that was given to him on the silver platter. That part, but everything else he was gonna have to struggle on because it don't make sense.
DACA is one of his stupidest platforms. Like as Roberts puts in his notes that the memo that the White House put out for its argument to get rid of DACA didn't address the fact that thousands of people who are on the DACA program are enrolled in degree programs, have started careers, have businesses, own homes. Some have even married and have a total of over 200,000 children in the U.S. now.
Damn, I can't even put that.
Not to mention that DACA recipients pay $60 billion in taxes every year. So this is very clearly, it's not a matter of thinking that these people are leeches on the system or that they're taking without giving. It's just that they're not white.
Yeah.
Because the numbers show that the large majority of DACA recipients are by and large like model citizens. These are the kind of immigrants any country should be welcoming. That's
my whole like thing with immigration in general. It's like, it's not like people are trying to come over here to leech. They're trying to make a life for themselves. It's hard wherever they are, and they see opportunity and they want to go for it.
I mean, more fucked up on top of that. Usually, their situations at home are fucked up because of American
I was about to say that.
action.
Damn, you're right, and you're absolutely right about that. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's the other layer to it. So it's
like we force these people out of we destroy their homes,
right?
And then we get mad when they come over here to look for somewhere safe to live.
Yep.
Right.
You see it constantly, boy. Like, America has like fucking disrupted the Middle East. We bomb the shit out of these people, and then they fucking flee their country. And what's the first thing you hear? Oh, why are you coming here? Why don't you just stay back in your country and fix it and make it better? Like, can't, bitch. Like, y'all keep bombing it like nonstop, daily,
just
never
constant
ending.
destabilization.
Yeah, and it's just like. And I've always hated that argument of why don't you stay in your country and make it better. It's like, I could ask your fucking forefathers the exact same fucking question. Oh my God. Every time I see a white person ask that question, I'm like, well, you're not Native American. Your people came from some shitty European shithole. Like, why didn't they stay there and make it better instead of fleeing like a bunch of losers? It's like, you can't levy that argument against people who we are actively bombing into oblivion or disrupting their fucking government for our own selfish reasons and then get upset when they come here. Like, if you don't want people coming to this country, stop fucking up their country. Like, it's a simple thing.
And you know what's funny? It's not that they're just coming here; they're also like coming into Europe as well. So it's like you're kind of messing up everybody's Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and and it's through military action, but it's also through our consumption.
Yeah.
Our acceleration of climate change. Like, there's going to be more and more every year climate change refugees. Mm-hmm. And for us in the first world, in the United States and parts of Europe, to be consuming as much as we do and destroying so much of the world so much that it forces people out of their homes. And then you get mad at these people when they're just trying to find somewhere to live that can be maintained and habitable. And it turns out to be your surroundings because you made it that way. It's really fucking evil to say, no, you can't be here. Like, no, you have to go back out to the world we're destroying for our own benefit.
Welcome to America.
And it's funny because, like, you look at across the country in different states, like, and the different immigrant populations, and you could see exactly, if you speak to these people, why they're here, and a good amount of the time it's because of American intervention in the countries they're from.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we have large Vietnamese population here. We have a large Southeast Asian population here because of what we did in that part of the world. Like, we have a large Latin American population that continues to increase because of the things we do in Latin America.
Right.
And like this doesn't stop in any one place, and it's not unique to America either.
It's not. No. Mm-mm.
It's just like all the
superpowers,
consuming, the first world superpowers who are just sucking the life out of the earth and making life so much harder for everyone else. And then when people try to get on the life raft with them, they try to kick them off.
Hit with the bootstrap talk, and then when they do it, it's like, oh, it's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what do you really want? You just don't want these people of this persuasion to succeed.
Oh, basically, they've said that. I mean, Trump's like, hey, I want people from Norway. Like, why the fuck would anybody from Norway want to come to America? Like, nobody wants to downgrade their situation. Like, hey, man, I want to give up healthcare, fucking cost of living, fucking comfort for America. Like, nobody's doing that. Like, no.
They're good. They're good. Oh, shit. I wouldn't want to come here either. And that's sad, because there's a lot to... The saddest thing about that is that there is things to enjoy about America.
You can enjoy them with YouTube.
Nah, it's not the same.
Nah, man. When I was in Germany, I was like, I don't want to go back.
I would say
that's because you live here.
The only good parts of America are the ones that are still mostly immigrant.
Yeah, no, the cultural centers.
Yeah,
the cultural centers of every state are usually really dope. You got your New Orleans, parts of Houston, your LA's, your New York's, your Atlanta's. The Chicago's. Those parts of the country are really dope. But the saddest thing is because they're bogged down by so much of the country's crap, you really can't really get to the heart of it or build those places up in the proper way. So it's sad that there is like the burgeonings of an actual great country here, but due to the people that have worked, blood, sweat, and tears and died for this shit. But the fact that white supremacy just basically covers it all in this big ass blanket, it's never going to come out in the proper way. The American dream as an idea can actually work. It's just the fact that white supremacy just fucks everything up in the first place. So there is no hope for that. I mean, so until that gets gone,
I mean, the American dream is better realized in those European countries and Nordic countries.
Exactly.
Anyway.
No, exactly. And that's sad. The fact that you would think that this place that prides itself on individualism shuts down individualism because it's based on skin color, and it wants to live up to that. No, you can't do that. You can't have it both ways.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, the American dream was always shit anyway. Like,
no, the basic premise of it is very colonizer like in general. So,
yeah,
but the idea,
crap.
Yeah, the idea of building yourself up sounds nice, but when you look at America as it is, it's trash.
Let's talk a little bit NASCAR again.
Vroom, vroom.
It's NASCAR, not NASCAR.
Oh, Angelus. Well, on Saturday, a Sonoma Raceway staff member discovered a piece of twine tied in what appeared to be a noose hanging from a tree on Raceway property. A statement reading, "Our staff, on-site business tenants, and local law enforcement have been contacted and asked to share any information they have. The incident is under investigation. Sonoma Raceway takes this incident very seriously and is dedicated to operating a facility that is welcoming to everyone."
NASCAR kind of like doing more than the NFL did, in a sense.
It's a little scary.
It's wild.
Okay, I don't know if NASCAR's up for this fight. I don't think they. I think they're using coronavirus a little bit as a cover. Like no fans could really be at NASCAR events in mass right now, and so they're trying to put this like really big fundamental change because it's hate and it's not heritage, but that flag has been ingrained in my mind when I picture NASCAR crowds.
No, same. If I go to Atlanta Motor Speedway, I'm seeing flags just straight up. So I don't be in South Georgia like that anyways, but the fact that I know not to go down there for races and stuff, I know. And yeah, NASCAR has always been like this, like, this is clearly some like redneck shit. But the fact that they're trying so hard to change their images, I'm side-eyeing them. But they're doing more than NFL, which surprises me more than anything else. I don't know what to think about that. It's just, I don't know. I feel sorry for what's the racer's name?
Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace?
Yes.
Wow. That's a NASCAR driver.
Uh-huh. He was born to drive NASCAR.
Yes. I saw his interview with Don Lemon, and this is after and I forgot to mention, the FBI considered it like it was like a piece like the garage.
Yeah, it was the garage pole.
Yeah. And he was like, bro, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. And as soon as he said that, and I was like, oh yeah, it was definitely some new shit. And he looked clearly upset about it, and I don't blame him. Like, you're in this space where you probably already feel alienated, but it's something you love to do. You love to drive. And after everything that's happened recently, you just want to do your thing. You just want to do the thing you love. And when it pops up exactly where you love, it gotta hurt. It gotta hurt.
This is following Bubba Wallace releasing that statement condemning the Confederate flag and then NASCAR banning it from events. Right. So a lot of people see this as an intimidation tactic.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's pushing for change in the sport.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the FBI did their investigation. It was like, well, that garage pole has been in his garage for his car since 2019. So it's just like, shit. And he also made a statement about a couple hours ago. I think it's like 5 hours ago. He's like, you know, he'll take the L on that, and he's like, he'd rather be embarrassed at it that he thought it was something that it wasn't than the alternative, that it actually be, you know, an actual news targeted at him. And I'm like, shit, me too. Like,
Right.
if I saw like what appeared to be a noose, my first instinct as a black person would be in a NASCAR setting would be, holy fuck, you know, like
Right.
motherfuckers are targeting me. And the thing is, like, in like you're seeing it online a lot, and it's really annoying and depressing, is that everybody, like white and black, are like calling this dude like, you know, Bubba Smollett and things like that. And it's like he wasn't the one who found it. Like he wasn't even the one who found it. He didn't know anything about it. Like NASCAR staff came up to him and said, "We found this," and it's just like it's really amazing how this is all like he's the one getting shitted on, and it's like I feel like now more than ever is that NASCAR needs to step up and be behind him on this, because it's like he wasn't the one who threw this.
I think they will.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't the one who threw this in the forefront. It was NASCAR, and he was like, "Hey, like if that's what it is, I'm being targeted. Like I'm the only black person here, so obviously it's meant for me."
He's literally the only black racer in NASCAR. Like he has to bear this all by his goddamn self.
Oh, man.
Like he doesn't even have like, you know, another racer to be like, man, this is crazy, right? You know, to share some thoughts with. Like this is all just on him. And it's not because of anything else other than him being a black man that he has to deal with his extra stuff. He can't just like, you know, prepare for his races and do his little interviews for TV. He has to talk about finding a noose in his garage. He has to talk about feeling uncomfortable at the races because there's Confederate flags everywhere. And that's the kind of weight that just, you know, it's blatantly just unfair. And it goes to show you that you can't act as if your status or your wealth could separate you from the issues in the country where you live. It's just not possible.
But also, fuck Jesse Smollett for doing that shit. Cause the fact that he did that crap,
I still can't believe that, man.
The fact that he did that, it's not that, you know, we don't understand this shit's gonna happen anyways. The type of shit that he claimed he went through. It's not that shit doesn't happen. It's that you gave people ammunition to just say shit and distract from the conversation.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That like you had no reason to do that shit, and that pisses me off. Like the fact that they call him Bubba Smollett, I was like, oh, this nigga. Oh, you gave them ammunition. That's why I hate when certain people of color act out in this way, or they do stupid stuff or say stupid things. You give the racists, you give the people that aren't already on already on the side of the people of color, you give them ammunition to just say and do dumb shit. Like we already got to deal with enough. Don't give them the ammo. Just don't. Stop, please. Because then you get situations like this where people will probably like this are considering less of his situation. You know, they probably were going to do that anyways, but now they're going to definitely do it. Didn't that happen? What happened with Jesse Smollett when he did? Yeah, they're going to bring it back up every single time, and it's going to be as annoying every single time. His sister's still fine though.
Her acting's a little rough.
It's okay.
Depends on the movie.
It's okay.
It depends on the movie.
She's been acting a long time.
Hey,
I know.
Hey. It's okay. It's okay.
She's had years, guys.
It's okay. She's so beautiful. It's okay.
I mean,
I'm not saying she's not.
Halle Berry's had years, and she's kind of, you know, she's alright.
She playing Catwoman,
Yeah.
man. We're never gonna get over that.
She got an Oscar.
So let's talk about Blackface again.
I'm good.
There's been a lot of Blackface recently.
I don't know how I missed all this.
I missed it. I thought we were gonna talk about Aunt Jemima or something like that.
Jemima or J. Cole. That's what I thought we were talking about.
Well, maybe after this.
All right.
So
Let's talk about Blackface.
So let's get this Blackface out of the way.
Drake.
So 30 Rock creators Tina Fey and Robert Carlock, they have asked for 4 episodes in the series which characters appear in blackface to be removed from streaming and syndication. The network sent out a statement saying, as we strive to do the work and do better in regards to race in America, we believe that these episodes featuring actors in race-changing makeup are best taken out of circulation. I understand now that intent is not a free pass for white people to use these images. I apologize for the pain they have caused. Going forward, no comedy-loving kid needs to stumble on these tropes and be stung by their ugliness. So these episodes in question, there's 4 of them. There's 4 episodes. It's 4 separate occasions they thought blackface would be funny. So in one of the episodes, a white woman Actress Krakowski decides to swap identities with Tracy Morgan's character to determine whether black men or white women face more challenges in society. Wow. And this experiment includes Jenna darkening her skin.
Wow.
Her character again appears in blackface in season 5, where she dresses up like Pittsburgh Steelers star Lynn Swann at a party. And in addition, Universal is removing season 6 live episode in which guest star John Hamm appears in a wig and crude blackface, part of a spoof of a racist radio show. And the 4th episode is a little weird because they said there's no actual blackface on the episode, but there's a joke referring to a Kenyan liar during like some parody bit of a news thing where the West Coast version of that episode didn't have that, had a different joke, and now that East Coast version is gone as well.
You know what? This probably would have got swept under the rug.
I don't think anyone's really checking for 30 Rock in 2020.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's like.
So you kind of put a spotlight on you. So you try to get in front of something that nobody was really checking for. And I'm just like, oh, so y'all racist, huh?
And I feel like partially like if you have an old TV show that's not on the air anymore, you should probably apologize. But I don't think it really needs to be this public.
Yeah, when it comes up, just say do the regular spiel and just move on. Like,
I just don't like the announcement of it. I think the action's fine.
The announcement is what kind of pisses me off. That's what I'm getting at. Like, why would you even announce this if nobody was really checking for you?
Like, are you expecting kudos?
Yes, that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted props from everybody. Like, oh my god, look at them, so progressive, 30 Rock, yeah.
They got the same energy as that them Hollywood actors do on that Black Lives Matter grayscale video.
Yep. Like, we hear you. We all matter. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, this is some performance shit.
Your guilt does not matter to us. It does not. Or your actions matter more than your guilt. You could have did this under the radar and we would have never noticed. I'm glad Robert Downey Jr. is the last blackface that I acknowledge.
Someone pointed out that Tina Fey's other show,
she's got another
for
show,
Netflix. Yeah, she produces. She's like a co-producer of the Kimmy Schmidt.
I should have figured
for Netflix.
That sounds like some Tina Fey,
right? I was just like, oh, might be Kimmy Schmidt, and it is.
In 2015, when she was facing backlash for a plot in which she put that same actress that was wearing blackface on 30 Rock into the role of a Native woman who was hiding her ethnicity. She responded to criticism by saying, "Steer clear of the internet and you'll live forever. We did an episode and the internet was in a whirlwind calling it racist, but my new goal is to not explain jokes. I feel like we put so much effort into writing and crafting everything, they need to speak for themselves. There's a real culture of demanding apologies and I'm opting out of that."
So you're a racist.
It's always funny to see someone acknowledge that they're racist in one sense and then
try to deny it.
Deny they're racist in this other way that is very racist as well.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm just trying to tell jokes. I'm trying to get these lyrics off. I'm trying to get these. Yeah, it's all this. It's the same type of logic. Like, hey, I'm not doing this. I'm definitely doing this. Did they speak for themselves, and the joke was clearly racist.
So also joining the blackface gang,
along with Justin Trudeau,
Jimmy Kimmel,
I don't know your name,
a late night host. He has apologized for quote unquote embarrassing portrayals of black celebrities. And this is funny because growing up in Southern California, Jimmy Kimmel was like on the local radio station for a long time.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was doing this impersonation of Karl Malone that has always been racist.
Oh God!
And if you hear it, it's very cringy. He's been doing that since the 90s, and so he apologized for that. He went all the way back. He went back 2 decades. Like, my bad for that racism. And then he went back, not that far back, to when he was on the Man Show, and he put on full blackface to impersonate Karl Malone.
Yikes.
He says, looking back, many of these sketches are embarrassing, and it is frustrating that these thoughtless moments have become a weapon used by some to diminish my criticism of social and other injustices. He says, I have evolved and matured in the 20 plus years since. And he said, I know that this will not be the last I hear this, and that it will be used again to try and quiet me. I love this country too much to allow that. I won't be bullied into silence by those who feign outrage to advance their oppressive and genuinely racist agendas. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to explain to those I've disappointed. I am sorry.
That's a bold statement to make.
Yeah, he's talking about himself like he's a civil rights leader or something.
I see what he's saying, but that you probably should have worded that a little bit better.
Especially when you said the racist, like, man, bro, like, wow.
Like, you really should have pointed out who you're talking about, because when you say feign outrage, a lot of people will think you're talking about them. That's actually upset at you about doing it.
I clutched my pearls reading this.
Yeah, I did too. I was reading, I was like, why would you say that? And see, this is the thing. So last week, I downloaded my archive to my Twitter and looked at a bunch of my old tweets and stuff like that.
Whoa. You doing your Nate Parker getting out in front of it?
Oh no, I'm not getting out in front of anything.
Oh damn, he's gonna stand by it. Okay.
No, if it pops up, I'll just talk about it.
My screen canceled.
No, if it ever pops up, I'll talk about it. I've always been like that. Seeing all these celebrities do this, either try to get in front of it or try to defend it, it's like, just be like, what I did was stupid. I apologize. It's dumb, whatever. And like, move on. It doesn't have to be like this self-aggrandizing situation. You just apologize and move the fuck on. What Kimmel doing here is like the same thing with Tina Fey and who else? It's like you're trying to, when you try to get in front of it like this, you're making it more about you than making it about the people you actually hurt. So it's like, I was looking at myself like, okay, I said that. That was dumb. Okay, I said that. Ugh, that was gross. And I sat, and I didn't delete them. But there's one tweet that I deleted. Because I thought it was like, whoa, that's egregious. But, the rest of it, I'll let it stand. Because I'm like, if it ever comes to like, I get famous and it comes up or whatever, it's like, I'll just take the L. Because that's who I was at the time. I'm not about to deny who I was at the time. Or no, I'm about to be like overtly just apologetic about it either, because at that point I'm making it about myself and not about the people I hurt. You just apologize. That's it. And all I'm seeing from celebrities that they get into these situations is just like, they just try to make this grand statement about whatever they got going on at the time. And just like, it's irritating to me. It's like, yo, just say sorry and move the fuck on. Like, I won't be bullied into silence. Yo, shut the fuck up. You did blackface. Shut the fuck up. That's it.
What Jimmy Kimmel's referring to as the people with genuinely racist agendas is that the same thing that happened with that dude who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, who got fired by Disney and then eventually rehired.
James Gunn.
Yeah. I was on the side of just like, he already apologized for it. Why is Disney kind of like clearly just like kind of jumping at it? I thought that was weird, but I don't feel like I can't think of his name. What's his name?
James Gunn.
Yeah, I don't feel like James Gunn overdid it, because he had already apologized years ago. He knew it was gonna come back up. He had to know, and he apologized again, and that was that. So I don't see why the other celebrities feel like they have to jump in the line of fire all the time.
Yeah, it feels like there should have been two different statements here. Because he's addressing two different audiences.
Yeah, if you're talking about the racists that are going to definitely use your words against you, because that's what they do, right? Or use your past moments against you, then make the statement against that. But if you're apologizing for the blackface, make it about that. Otherwise, you just sound like, I'm an activist. I don't do those things anymore. Fuck the racists. It's like, all right, bro.
Because there is a real like conservative bubble where they try to co-opt these outrage movements.
They definitely do. Yeah.
And that's what happened with James Gunn. And if you've looked online, they're attempted to do the same thing to Jimmy Kimmel. But the funny thing is, it's like, who gives a fuck about either of those guys, honestly? Like it was fucked up what happened to James Gunn, and there isn't. The shit James Gunn said was really weird
and fucked up.
Like, I could see why Disney wouldn't want to be doing business with someone who acts that way.
Right.
But by his own words, he said that he matured whatever since then. But so Jimmy Kimmel said the same thing, and I don't really give a shit about that. Like, I don't care if these alt-right people succeed in getting Jimmy Kimmel off the air. I won't cry.
I mean, I got decent memory. I'm good.
Like, I'm not sure what Jimmy Kimmel offers the world that's so unique that we can't let him go for being so racist for 3 decades prior to being famous.
I don't know, dude.
That's super funny to me because it's like people act like these people are irreplaceable. Like Jimmy Kimmel's the only one who could laugh at celebrities' bad jokes.
I think that's what a lot of it is fueled by, this idea that, you know, we can't, these like, oh, these people shouldn't be replaced, and it's like, what happens if they go away or we quote unquote cancel them? Like, what happens then? It's like, well, new people come.
They always do.
Name one thing Jimmy Kimmel has done that you like.
I don't even watch Jimmy
One
Kimmel.
thing
celebrities reading mean tweets is funny.
That's
you
Jimmy
think he
Kimmel.
did that?
That's like interns. Like probably a shitload of interns thought that
True.
shit up. Like you don't need Jimmy Kimmel to do that. Like you can get any random person.
You're right. You're definitely right. Never mind that.
You can get a YouTube channel called. You can get a YouTube channel with that shit going. Really.
I resend my last statement. Yeah. So never mind.
That's why, like, I think that's why, like, I just roll my eyes at everybody who complains and cries about quote unquote cancel culture, and it's just like, oh no, they're gonna cancel this person. It's like you act like if this person gets quote unquote canceled, their entire body of work up until that point like magically disappears, and you can never find it again,
or is invalidated.
Yeah, it's like, oh, remember when Kevin Hart did that thing? People are like, oh my god, we're gonna cancel Kevin Hart now. It's like he lost one fucking job. He still gets. He still is in everything.
Too.
Yeah, like oh my god, they're gonna cancel Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle got a new fucking. He had a new offer from Netflix. Like, who the fuck has cancel culture ever canceled? Really, other than that one singer chick, Sabrina Claudio, whatever her name is. Like, that's the only chick I can ever think of, and she really fucked herself up.
And Chrisette Michelle.
Yeah, like. They didn't make enough music that were bops. Like that's their problem.
That and the common denominator that they're women of color.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, Iggy Azalea is still around. Wait, not Iggy Azalea. What's the one? What's the white one?
Oh, her too.
She fell off.
But she fell off on her own. But like I'm saying, like she didn't get canceled. Like she just made shit music. And people were like, you can't recreate that one hit, sis. And she was never able to. Which fucking Iggy is that though? Like, what's the white one's name?
I think you got it.
Okay, like
it's Iggy Azalea. You talk Iggy Pop or something?
No, I was thinking of Azalea Banks. Like,
Iggy Azalea Banks.
Yeah, like them shits blend together for me.
Understandable.
They're equally relevant.
Yeah, it's like cancel culture is not even a real thing. Like, oh no, they're gonna dig up people's past. It's like
they're going to cancel J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar.
That's the really annoying one. Like, oh my god, all the things that J. Cole has done, all the music he's made, is like, okay, like that means fuck all in my opinion. Like, imagine your argument against somebody doing something bad is one time in the past or times in the past they've done good. Like, how the fuck does that invalidate the bad that they've done now? Like, I don't understand that. Honestly, it's so frustrating. It's like actually me and my friends are talking about this with Chris G. And I'm like, I don't care that he got canceled. Like, I don't give a fuck.
That is the weirdest thing people being upset about.
Yeah, like, why do you care? Someone's like, what happens if it happens to you? Like, nigga, I'm not famous, bro. like everybody, like, I would make an argument that at least a good 90% of people who use social media have said some stupid shit. But everybody's still going about their daily lives. Like, there isn't some mass company that's canceling the everyday man. Like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, I guess it's because Chris G doesn't pay any of my fucking bills that I just don't give a fuck about what happens to him or anybody who gets canceled. Like, my bills aren't getting paid by you people, so why do I empathize with some stupid shit you said, especially as a whole ass adult?
Isn't that relevant as a player now, anyways? There's a whole list of fighting game players out there that have taken his spot. He was good in Marvel. Marvel doesn't even exist anymore as a main game, so why the fuck should I be paying attention to Chris G?
Yeah. Like, that whole situation was weird anyway, because it's like, you, like, they were like, everybody's all like, oh, you know, like, this is not fair. He said that so long ago. He was 27. He's a whole ass adult. Like, he's a whole ass adult with adult cognitive function. Like, you can't even hide behind that argument. Number two, the CEO is a black woman. Like, the very people he was disparaging was his fucking boss. Why the fuck would any black woman want to keep him on her fucking roster, bro? Like, if I was a CEO and one of my white coworkers is like, black men are trash and black people this, that, that motherfucker's getting fired yesterday. I don't give a fuck if you said that shit 4 years ago. You getting fired. Like, that's how you feel about me? Bet. Say less. Like, get the boot. But yeah, like in general, cancel culture is not even a real thing. And everybody who's worried about it, you're never going to be anything relevant in life. So you don't have to worry about cancel culture. It's true. Like people in America have this idea that they're all going to be billionaires and shit like that. No, 98% of y'all are not going to be billionaires. 98% of y'all are going to be fucking 10,000aires. And that's your life. You're not going to get canceled because nobody's going to give a fuck about you in that capacity. You're going to wake up, go to your job, whatever the fuck it is. I hope it's a great job. Go about your day, make whatever tweets you make, and then you live your life. If you say something stupid, the worst that's going to happen to you is your little bubble that you existed on social media will be like, wow, you're a piece of shit. Make a new account, boom. It's like it never happened.
Or just be quiet for a month or two and then make a new hit movie or song or whatever, and then there's no problem.
Exactly. Like you see it all the time in these little Twitter circles. You see somebody say something stupid or something happen or they done something and like everybody's, oh my God, I'm going to unfollow you. And then like 2 months later, nobody gives a fuck anymore. Like, quit acknowledging yourself to the idea of what celebrities like a celebrity life. You'll never be a celebrity. You're never going to be famous. You're never going to be popular that anybody's going to want to cancel you in any capacity that will fucking ruin your life. Like, stop imprinting yourself on celebrity lifestyle. It's so fucking weird.
And I want to point out that since you were talking about how long ago these infractions were, Jimmy Kimmel was 32 when he decided to put on blackface.
Yeah, it's like these are whole ass adults. Like, you're not talking about like a fucking 12-year-old Jimmy Kimmel. Like, this is a fucking grown ass man who knew right from wrong. Like, quit making excuses for him. Quit. Like, why are you making excuses for him? Like, he doesn't need. Number one, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't need you to make excuses for him because Jimmy Kimmel has a fucking PR team who gets paid for it. So you're just wasting your damn time. Number one, and it's like number two, he's a grown man. Let him speak up for himself. He doesn't need Bob the Builder working at Bob fucking auto shop to fucking take up for him. It's so weird to me.
The cancel culture that people perceive to be happening, I wouldn't hate existing. Like, if Jimmy Kimmel was just gone next week from hosting his show and it was someone else, I really wouldn't care.
Honestly. And the thing that I think really annoys me is like everybody's like, oh my God, cancel culture. Like, it's been around forever. Like, it has literally been around since fucking the newspaper. Because as soon as something happens with a celebrity, whether it be a rumor or anything like that, you know, if it gets printed, that becomes fat. You know, like for instance, you know, I people hate bringing this one up. OJ, right? OJ got fucking put on trial. Like, you know, they say he murdered somebody. In the court of public opinion, he was found guilty and that destroyed his life. Even if he was actually found innocent in a court of law, in the court of public opinion, he was already guilty. He was already canceled immediately. So cancel culture has always been around. Like Michael Jackson went through the same shit. Like there's so many celebrities who've gone through the same exact shit. It just like the only thing that's different now is that people as opposed to like media institutes are the ones that fucking point this shit out. And now, you know, people react to it. That's it. That's one thing that's changed.
I think people superimpose themselves onto these celebrities.
That's what it is.
And they feel like if that person gets canceled, I can get canceled too.
Yeah,
you can get canceled.
If this person did something wrong, then I know I've done some stuff in the wrong, but I'm not going to acknowledge it in a healthy way.
And it's like,
you know,
yeah, it's like chances are so high you're going to go through your entire adult life and never get canceled. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about you like in that capacity. And like, I'm not even trying to say it to be a dick. I'm just being honest. Like, nobody gives a fuck about me in that capacity. Nobody's gonna be like, oh man, let me go through fucking Angelus's fucking MySpace or whatever. Even though
you're not that important.
Yeah, I'm not important. I'm nobody. Like,
you're not that. That's the hotel it. You're just not that important. Like, and that's okay.
Someonespoken.com.
Even though MySpace got like their database got scrubbed, so I actually don't have anything.
I still have mine.
The posts ain't there, bro. Like, your account's still there, but them posts is gone. They scrubbed all that shit.
Good. I was a thirsty little 15-year-old.
Oh my.
That's not how I wanted to end the show.
That was most of my Twitter too. I was like, damn, boy, 19? Oof.
But yeah, like,
Take Care it just came out. What a time.
The timeline was unholy.
What a time.
Mike was tweeting his feelings on women, boy.
Oh boy, I was. And I was just like, whew. Oh, growth. Amen for
Wonderful
growth.
thing. Yeah, I mean, that whole thing is actually weird when you think about it, because it's like people want the ability to say whatever without accountability ever coming into play. And if you hold them accountable, all of a sudden you're canceling them. And it's just like, that's kind of how it works, man. Like you're not owed the things that you're not owed anything by anybody, by society in that capacity. Like we don't owe Jimmy Kimmel shit. Like as a nation, we don't owe Jimmy Kimmel shit. Like Jimmy Kimmel could apologize 67 times when people say fuck Jimmy Kimmel. It's fuck Jimmy Kimmel. Like that's just how it is. Like we don't have to forgive people for the shit that they've done as whole ass adults, especially. Like I've always hated how that gets pushed, especially it gets pushed on black people to forgive, people who wrong us. Like that is a thing that gets shoved down our gullets all the time. Like racism. Hey man, forgive and forget. Slavery, forgive and forget. Like bombings and fucking murder of our people, forgive and forget. God, Jesus, hug thy neighbor, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, honestly, suck a dick if that's your mindset. Like, I don't forgive none of y'all.
Who the fuck likes Jimmy Kimmel like that?
That's what I would love to know, honestly. Like,
I mean, I'm of the opinion that
You don't even slap like that.
if I was organizing a production like this, I would rather the black crew and other parts of the production to be comfortable and not have to think about blackface every time they saw the host. Like that would be a higher priority than keep Jimmy Kimmel employed.
Jimmy Kimmel's rich. He's fine if he gets quote unquote canceled. Like
he needs a vacation. He's old. He's close to retirement age. Let someone else make some money.
Vote for Deezus Mero at the Emmys. Thank you very much, whoever's listening.
Who watches Jimmy Kimmel?
Which one is Jimmy Kimmel?
ABC, the one that always does stuff at the Oscars. He messed up the Moonlight Oscars.
I still don't know.
Email us at sowellspoken at
Which one is Jimmy
gmail if you
Kimmel?
watch Jimmy Kimmel.
Is Jimmy
We're not going to read it. I just want to waste the Jimmy Kimmel fans'
who like
time.
rubbed Trump's hair?
No, that was
No, that's Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
Bro,
That was the other
them
Jimmy.
motherfuckers blended
Who
together.
also had blackface.
he did blackface too.
Yeah,
I'm not
he dressed up as
surprised.
Chris Rock.
Damn.
It's like a prereq. Like, there's more fucking Tonight Show hosts that have done blackface than black hosts.
But there hasn't been any black hosts
Arsenio Hall
outside
show.
of Arsenio.
Yeah.
I was getting there. I was getting there.
I'm so sad that they canceled his show the first time because when they brought it back, it just did not have the momentum.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Shout out to Arsenio Hall.
Sponsor us, bro.
We need the sponsorship.
Hey, why is the cheese so good, bro? Let us know.
Invite us to Coming to America 2 premiere.
Hey, that'd be fire.
Hey, hold
Please,
on.
Arsenio.
Can we wait till after Corona though?
I'll come in my
Yeah, I was
mask.
gonna come in a mask myself and just nobody sit near me. We all get our own row,
I'll take that.
Get a Zamunda flag face mask.
That'd be pretty fire.
Arsenio, so well spoken at Gmail, please.
You can be a member of the podcast too, really. Get your voice
We'll
out
put you
there.
on here. I'll step down and let you on here, Arsenio. You take my spot.
Nah.
You don't think he could host this better than me?
No, I'm not saying that.
Just have 4 people.
Yeah. You just have dreams on here, so I mean, like, hey. Actually, this podcast should be like a gang of people.
We don't talk about that.
Too many people.
Yeah.
Too many people. Too many people.
We don't talk about those times.
The forbidden days.
We don't talk about
Do you have to issue out an apology about the whole podcast?
I'm sorry about our early podcast.
They were pretty bad.
That's why I took them all down.
Yeah. Like the funny thing
They issued a
is, like
statement.
if I look on my Skype for all the calls we've ever made, shit goes all the way back to the first podcast that I joined back in 2014, and there were a shitload of people in that. I'm like, God dang, bro.
There's like 7 of us.
That was a round table discussion.
It was not a.
It was a cipher.
Yeah. It wasn't really a podcast. It was more of a meeting of the minds type thing.
A lot of yelling.
Yeah, a lot.
All right.
So we'll leave there. Arsenio, please contact us to host the show. We need the juice.
Please.
We're on IG, Facebook, Twitter as So Well Spoken Pod.
Yep. We're basically
SoWellSpoken.com.
everywhere, really, at this point. We're worldwide.
We're on Spotify.
We even have
Mr.
Japanese
Worldwide.
listeners.
It's crazy. Konnichiwa, our Japanese listeners.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Is konnichiwa hello or goodbye?
Hello.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
To say konnichiwa to Japanese listeners, what's offensive about that, Mike?
No, pandering a little bit, you know.
I'll pander for some more listeners.
shake a little tail with some listeners. I feel you.
Yeah, I think we have one listener in Korea.
That's dope.
I need to look up the map because I know we do have like people from all over the place.
Yeah, like somebody in the military DM'd me and they're like, they're stationed in Korea and they listen to us. I was like, that counts. That counts.
They're Korean right now. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. They're in Korea.
Yeah, I was gonna. Oh, that's why I say things like that.
I like to apologize on the behalf of Moris.
I'm gonna have to apologize and step down to make room for Arsenio.
They are occupying Korea, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah.
Jesus, it got worse.
I mean, it's
SoWellSpoken.com.
Do we have any Russian listeners? That'd be wild. Quite the number of Nigerian and Ghanaian listeners.
That's dope.
Yeah, you know, our reach is slowly expanding. We're getting out there. Maybe we're international. Maybe one day we'll actually get a real sponsorship. You know, we can quit our day jobs and we can become popular and we get canceled, but we already got a lot of money before we got canceled, so we're still good.
The dream. To get canceled with money. Oh man, then you have an excuse to not be working.
Hey man, you know,
exactly.
I can't work right now. I'm canceled.
Startups want to get bought out. Podcasters want to get canceled with money.
I got canceled, man. I'm out here just chilling.
So what do you do for a living? I used to have a podcast until they canceled me. Now
I'm still getting royalties though.
Still getting spins on Spotify, baby. They still listening. So I was able to afford this Tesla.
Self-driving with cereal in your mouth, blindfold.
Oh, wow! You have more faith in Elon Musk than I ever will.
Blame Zach Fox for that.